And I'm used to going through customs in such a, what is this? Where are you going? Blah, 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 blah.
The things that's been so pleasant about dealing with like expat services here in Albania.
And we ended up finding something that was 50 euros under, our budget.
A big motivator to get the fuck out of China.
Then things kind of changed.
It's the immaculate deliciousness, aka the way, the path, the light, the righteous one. And I am here with my good friend from China directly. He's not from China, but he's coming from China. And he has arrived in sunny Tirana, Albania. Do you want me to use your real name?
I'm just Shell.
Shell. So Shell is American. Shell has been in China for how long?
We were there for 4 years in total.
Okay, and he is our first Albania service. So we were able to help him come to Albania and get on his feet in hopefully like a pretty comfortable way. Was it?
Yeah, so far, it's a country we hadn't really had on our list originally. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of saw your videos.
Cool.
And we saw you guys move. It was a big mystery. We talked a lot about it. Where are they going? Because we had set on coming to Vietnam.
Right.
Our idea was we wanted to be somewhere where we could live, reasonably well, and have enough left over to build businesses and do other things that we had in mind.
For the last 5 years, there was no better place than Vietnam.
Yeah, and you can't do that in America because you're spending so much of your income just surviving. And so we do a lot of online type stuff. And what we ended up doing is we were doing the research, and we found you.
Cool.
And we were following, and that's kind of when we got in contact with you.
Yeah, well, we talked for a while.
We did.
Because you guys had been looking at leaving China for like probably a while.
Yeah, and we were keeping an eye on it. We were hearing good things and watching the videos. It's really pretty though. I mean, we step off the plane, it's just fresh air.
Yeah, you're not used to that.
Well, we didn't have that tube thing that they normally have in the airport.
Yeah.
We got to go down onto the tarmac, and the breeze is blowing, and we're looking at mountains. We're like, oh man.
That must have been nice.
It was nice. It was nice.
We arrived at night, so we didn't see shit.
Nah, we got in during the day. It was beautiful. It was 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, nice.
What was crazy was we went up. And I'm used to going through customs in such a, what is this? Where are you going? Blah, 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 blah. They looked at us, took our passports, put them in the machine, looked back at us, handed them back, and just walked right in.
Yeah, they told me, welcome to Albania.
Yeah, it was just smooth. And I'm like, wow, that was weird.
Yeah.
There's people just, they're not stopping and staring at you, looking at you. They're just going about their business, and you just blend right in.
Yeah, you're American too, so they love Americans here.
Right.
And that's a big advantage, guys, if you're coming from the U.S., is the people have a very favorable feelings towards us due to history and stuff. So it's it's a good place to be with the U.S. passport, and we can help people start businesses and stuff. And I know you guys are thinking about using that aspect. That probably weighed in why you use the service as well, as access to that kind of contacts is helpul.
Connections. I mean, one of the things that I felt comfortable with the process because I could get in contact with you guys.
Yeah.
The guys that work for you, pretty cool, pretty responsive. They'll go to bat for you.
Yeah.
And they speak Albanian, so it made it easier. I could have a conversation and have a translator there. Even when we did not want to stay at the Airbnb.
No, I don't blame you either.
We didn't want to do the hotel. I mean, in the past when we've gone to jobs in China, we didn't know what our lodgings were going to look like.
Yeah, they get them for you. They do everything for you.
So that's a crapshoot. This, at least we had, your guy, pitched us all these different apartments. We told him exactly, we gave him a list. This is what we want. This is our ideal price.
Yeah.
And he went out and found stuff, and we had another guy that was looking, and we ended up finding something that was 50 euros under, our budget, what we spent.
Even better.
He negotiated with the landlord and the real estate agent to hold the apartment. All this is while we're in transit.
Yeah. Well, you guys were coming out. You were still transiting.
We're doing all this over our phone.
Right.
While we're in the quarantine hotel in Hong Kong.
Wow.
It's crazy what they're doing with the tickets. I mean, to go back to the United States is going to be almost $9,000 for my wife and I.
Wow.
Just the tickets. So we had to play, pricing game, all that kind of stuff.
That's an absurd amount of money.
Oh, yeah. So the cheapest we found was to fly out of Shanghai to Hong Kong. Then Hong Kong to Tirana.
Right.
But the issue was, all of the quarantine procedures. You had to have the vaccine.
Right.
Some countries, like Germany's, like, you're not getting in unless you have a COVID test within the last 48 hours.
The logistics is fucked. The logistics is really crazy.
So I'm, all this time, everything's going. It took us 5 hours to go through the Shanghai airport and get to the plane.
Right.
You take the flight. We spent 7 hours in Hong Kong going through their process.
Wow.
You had to answer all kinds of paper questionnaires.
I bet.
You had to demonstrate that you had that you had taken the vaccine 14 days ago. And that's the second shot. You had to have 2 shots. Your second shot had to be
within 14 days.
14 days. Any earlier than that, then you're not considered vaccinated.
Wow.
So we had to time it right.
You guys
Prices
were coming
were going.
From what city were you based in? Were you based in Shanghai or you were based in Beijing?
We'll just say we were a little south of that.
Okay, so near Shanghai.
Yeah, I didn't want to,
Exact town, sure.
Yeah,
but like you were in that region.
We were in that region, and things changed.
Oh, I bet.
Shanghai decided that they were not going to have English teachers for grades, the primary school grades.
Right.
And then they ratcheted up to middle school.
Yeah, and now it's like K through 12 in training centers. But we're going to do a separate video where we talk exclusively about what's going on in China because he's just coming directly from being in the middle of all of it. But that's probably a big motivator to get the fuck out of China.
Yeah, well, I think it was once, like anything, we won't say Wild West.
East.
No pun intended, the Wild East. What we'll say is that, things change.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if they change their educational system, it gets a little bit more difficult to stay in that industry. You've heard there's lots and lots of people, leaving for whatever reason. There's just it's becoming very, very clear that they want to lessen to a great degree the amount of foreign English teachers they have in the country.
But right now there's only limited places to go, so it's interesting to see where, I think a lot of them are going to go to Vietnam, but I also think like people like yourself, a lot of people are going to come out here to Albania and I think they're going to like it.
Well, it's very simple. You could say you're going to go to Vietnam, but right now
it's logistically difficult.
It's very difficult not just to get there, but to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, what, a month in quarantine, is it?
No, so like if you have the vaccine, it's 7 days, and if you don't have the vaccine, it's 3 weeks.
Right, but getting someone to sponsor your, I mean, I know you do that, that's your game.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
But it ain't easy, and it's going to cost money.
No, and people fundamentally misunderstand the process. Like, this is where these guys on these Facebook groups get, they scream, call me a scam, all these trolls, and what they don't really understand is that there actually is a process that is in place, and it's very fucking complicated right now. Like, it's not like you're just gonna go and get hired. I got a guy with a master's degree right now. He's a licensed teacher, and he's got a master's degree. He's a licensed fucking science teacher. And even the choices that we're able to get for him to get sponsored are pretty limited at the moment because everything is fucking closed. Everybody's on like a crazy, crazy lockdown. Right. And because of this, the government is so fucking doesn't want foreigners in the country because they don't want fuck tons of foreigners dying all over the place while they're having this crazy outbreak. Mm-hmm. So they've made it very difficult to get anybody in. So like, it's starting to peek its head out, and there's starting to be a lot more, we're gaining a lot of interest in investing and opening businesses in Vietnam suddenly. So there is some people starting to like look at going back. But like for people who aren't physically involved in working within these processes, like there's a lot of things that can seem really unclear. I'll give you an example. Like people will see the cost for DHL, for shipping, for paperwork when we open someone a business. They'll see like $200 to $400, and they're going to be like, "Oh, you guys are ripping us off." But in reality, I'm not DHL. You wouldn't be paying me that money. You'd be paying that money to DHL.
Well, I know this. We talked about this earlier. Yeah. I know for a fact that I was going to have just an envelope with some information sent to me from the States. And DHL was the cheapest. And that was $68.
And where was it from? From China to the U.S.?
No, it was coming from the U.S. to Hong Kong.
To Hong Kong.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, because I was going to, while we were doing our 7-day quarantine, I was going to have it sent, and it was just so expensive.
That was $68.
Yeah, it was $68, and that's just one way, one document.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know what people are talking about. I mean, we've lived for years in China, and we always knew getting something sent from the United States was going to be very, very costly.
Especially next day mail. If you're sending your passports and important documents, you're going to send them the fastest way.
And if you make a mistake or have to get another seal or things change, I mean, it's costly. And I just don't want to put up with that.
To me, I would almost say, but I should just start writing, you don't pay us, you pay DHL. But my partner who wrote up the whole thing, what he's trying to do is people who understand how you do business, that they would read it and have all the information.
Right.
But unfortunately, the thing with Southeast Asia is there's no place on earth, I think, that has more degenerates that are on the internet than fucking Southeast Asia. Like, I deal with some of the bottom of the fucking barrel. That's one of the things that's been so pleasant about dealing with, like, expat services here in Albania, is like I've got good infrastructure in Vietnam. I've got people who will take care of the foreigner. We've got people who are working with law firms. They can do everything, get you into the country. But the type of foreigners that end up in Vietnam versus the type of foreigners that end up here, it seems like it's a lot better to deal with the people that are coming here.
Well, you're dealing with a different class of individual. The people who come here are going to have some way to make income. And it's got to be most likely online. I mean, I know you're looking into the call center aspect.
Yeah, that is a thing.
And you don't, it's not like in the States where if you're making $2,000 or $3,000 a month in the States, you can't survive that way.
No,
you just can't. Here, reasonably with a couple $1,000s, you could live, a pretty substantial lifestyle.
Yeah.
You could live well, and the investment that you're making isn't money per se, unless you have money to throw away.
Yeah.
But if you're just the average person, you want to retire early, or you want to work on a business, if it's an online type business or something like that, something that doesn't require you to be there.
Okay.
You want to come here and just, lower your cost of living so you have extra money to invest in your business.
And get a nice lifestyle too, because honestly, it's not that expensive here relative to what other places in the world cost.
Right. You're not investing money as much as you're investing time.
Yeah.
Yeah. This place, one of the reasons we chose it is we knew it would give us, a chance, especially if you're an American.
Yeah.
And you come, you get a stamp in the visa and you're in. You don't have to have the extended visa and go through the renewing and jumping in. You can stay here for a year.
Yeah.
And even during that time, you can go for residency.
Yeah, and we can arrange it for you. We can do all that. I guess the point I was making is with Vietnam, when I get an inquiry for Albania, so 9 times out of 10, people have been pretty civilized. Like, even as far as saying, oh, well, I don't want to waste too much of your time and da-da-da-da if I'm not going to seriously work with you. Whereas with Vietnam, I love my customers, but to get to my customers, I must have had to talk to, per customer, 50 sociopath, lunatics who are, obsessed with me or who think I'm a fucking scam. Whereas over here, almost everybody has been, just totally civilized. They're like, oh, what do you do? Oh, that sounds interesting. Well, maybe I'll contact you.
Well, they're legitimately looking for some place where they can post up and they can live well and pursue whatever it is they're working for. They want to put in the time. People come here because they're working on things to help them grow. People that go there, they're not looking to grow, they're looking to maintain.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to cast a shadow on everybody because I have great people in Southeast Asia, but this element would you agree it's toxic? It's fucking. I like that this is not as much a thing in the Balkans. It's too small. Everybody here knows each other. Everybody's related. Everybody's somebody's cousin.
You come here because you are about something. You are upwardly mobile. You're trying to do some business.
I agree.
You go there to be in, I don't know, and it's not everyone, but those that are there, as you call them, sexpats, or those that are there, they're not looking to grow, they're just looking to maintain, and nothing in nature maintains.
You can't maintain. It's never going to last forever.
It's never, nothing in nature that's living maintains. You're either growing or you're dying.
I mean, they could marry a Vietnamese girl, and a lot of them do, and a lot of the reason that most of them haven't been thrown out of the country a long time ago. And the Vietnamese will always have a use for some fucking white guy. They'll stick him in a suit and say, "Look, he's a teacher." And they can do that for the rest of their lives, or at least they think they can. But if they're married to a local, they can. I guess the thing for me was that in Vietnam, in Saigon, because Saigon's an international city, it is a world-class city. There's a lot of very, very cool people doing cool things. But there's also this bizarre fucking subculture of just people who could not be anywhere else. Whereas what's been so nice about the Balkans is I've definitely seen some expats that look snobby maybe that I wouldn't hang out with, but that doesn't, I
don't know. People here, they're here for a reason. They've got a plan, bad. And it's not just it's the low cost of living. It's also strategic. If you want to just really see Europe, experience Europe, you're right in the Mediterranean. Now, granted, COVID is blocking a lot of this. Yeah, that's salt in a lot of people's game. But it's still a great place to be right now as things shift. It's relatively, it's stable here.
That's why.
I mean, we've only been here a few days, but we've really enjoyed what we've seen.
But you didn't just get off the plane. You looked into the place before you came to it.
We researched hardcore. Your videos, a bunch of other videos. And, there's a lot of change taking place in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, rapidly. And
you have to have a plan B.
Yes, definitely.
And Vietnam was our plan B.
Right.
And that didn't look so much. I mean, with the plane flight, the cost of the quarantine,
right,
to only be able to stay so long, because if you're not working, you can't really stay because you have to have the visa sponsorship.
Yeah, I mean, but now there's no other way. Now you pretty much, if you're not hired, we just pay someone to hire you if you have all your documents, but you are actually going to have to work for them.
Yeah, definitely. We wanted some place where we could focus more on business that we control.
It was better the first time. It was actually better when you guys talked to me and you're like, "This is not a good deal." It became a worse deal.
Because the first time we talked to you, yeah, come on in, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, things are changing. Then it was like, dude, you want to hold your role. You don't want to come out yet.
Don't come now.
Yeah. But like I said, we watched you guys and we saw you jump and we're like, Albania.
Yeah.
And then you started listing the reasons and it just made sense.
It does.
It is dry here though.
He's not used to the climate, guys. It's my first month here was the same. I was so dehydrated all the time.
Well, and the food is salty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the salami, but it is fresh. Oh man.
But you can find, after a while, you'll sort of figure out where to eat. I go to a place here called Zagara Korcha 2, and some of their stuff is salty, but I wouldn't call it a salty place. It's pretty non-salty for Albanian standards. There's all the thing. Do you guys know what a Zagara is yet? Have you learned about a Zagara?
No.
So Zagaras are, I think they're the grill places, but they also make all kinds of side dishes, and some of them have really nice pastas and stuff. And they're usually one of the cheaper places you can eat.
We went to Mr. Chicken last night.
How was Mr. Chicken?
It was okay. Okay. They had some clever stuff.
The Zagaras are the places that grill it.
Ooh, smoked meat. I want to try that.
So most of them are on, I don't know if I'm going to say the street right, Kavaya Street. If you go towards the other side of the square, it's one of the older parts of the city. There's Muslim Shari and Kavaya, and those two streets are where a lot of Zagaras and Tumis are.
Okay, isn't that out where you said the furniture was?
Yeah, but the furniture store is on the Lana River, and those streets are a couple streets above that.
Okay.
So once you cross from Bloku across the Lana River, you'll be kind of like over where the store is to buy the chairs.
I've got to we got to pick up a phone card so I can get,
So you're liking
Google. We're loving it.
You're loving it.
We're loving it. We're having a good time. It was smooth.
Set up.
Once the hardest part was not getting here and getting in. The hardest part was getting out.
Yes. For me too.
It was, wow, the flights were so expensive. The procedures because of COVID.
Calling embassies and shit.
Dude, if you had seen the setup in Hong Kong, it was wild. Half the airport, the whole wing is now safety. And you come in and you have to do a lot of different forms.
Right.
You have to do a lot of the apps and scan stuff. And then you have to have your paperwork with you at all times.
Jesus.
Then they test you. And then you have to go through and do a bunch of other stuff and tell what hotel you're going to be in. And if you're coming from this region, you can't go to these hotels.
Right.
If you're coming from here, you can only go to the ones on these lists, but they're all booked up.
Whoa.
You can get for the ones that are really, really expensive, but you got to stay there. If you can prove you have the vaccine, it's 7 days. If not, you have to be in there. 14 days.
Right,
and if you're coming from this part, you have to be in there 21 days. And so you're researching all this stuff, and it's changing every day.
It is. It's crazy.
And it's like, you mean I've got to go through all this COVID stuff and then also handle all the stuff in Albania? I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know where to stay.
Right.
I don't know, money. I don't have anybody speaking the language. How the heck are you going to get this? So you guys took care of that.
We had them picked up at the airport.
Yeah.
We had them taken to the apartment that we arranged.
Went directly to the apartment. The landlady and the real estate agent met us.
Everything was already sorted out with paperwork, with the money.
We had the representative of your company. He was there making sure everything was smooth, pointing out, talking, what about this, what about this here? And
cool.
So he was there. And so, we got in at flight was late, of course.
Yeah.
So we got in about 3:30. And by 5 o'clock, we're chilling. Nice 3-bedroom place.
That's great.
450
That's
euros.
Fucking fantastic.
We are literally, when we come out of the complex onto the street,
right.
There's the American Embassy right there. Whoop.
Yeah, we're close neighbors. I'm right around the corner. Yes. I think he got a better deal than us.
Hey,
that's pretty good.
It's a nice place. It's furnished, 3 bedrooms. It's really nice, quiet.
Yeah.
So we can get a lot of work done.
And that's kind of what we do, guys. Is we just make it so you don't have to think about it.
You formed immediately the group, put our name on it. Everybody jumped in.
Yeah.
And so I throw a question out there. If you weren't available, somebody else would.
Oh yeah, somebody always will get back to you. And they all speak English.
Yeah. And you would redirect when I put something out there and someone didn't answer. Either you or Mish would say, "Hey, check this out."
Yeah, because sometimes you just have to remind people. It's part of what I do and then people don't really understand it because if you here, it's a little bit easier. You have to nudge people along because the culture is more relaxed.
It is.
But in Southeast Asia, it's that times 1,000. Trying to get something done can be really crazy, and very often, a lot of times, foreigners who are not used to doing business with the Vietnamese government or with their intermediaries, they don't understand how fucking crazy it can be, especially if you're dealing with the North, so.
Well, rules change, and they change frequently.
And you were in China, so you know about changing rules.
Yeah, well, there is the actual rule or law that came down, and then there is the interpretation of it. And different provinces interpret it different ways. And so some will say you need to do these things. Some will say it's optional. And you have to start making up your mind. Is this, the opportunities here are getting narrower and narrower. Maybe this is the time to kind of get when the getting's good.
So he decided to come to Albania, and I don't blame him. I think if I was leaving China right now, I'd be, this is a good place to be.
Well,
fresh air, good food. We made the process painless. So if you guys are thinking of coming to Albania, give us a holler. Let us know what's up. We're happy to help you get on your feet. You can see full transparency. And if you go through my old videos, you can meet one by one every single expat I worked with in Vietnam also. Don't listen to the psychopaths online. All fucking fake news. We interview everybody we work with if they're willing to be on camera, of course. We're not going to insist if they're private people. Sometimes people are. But if they're willing to be on camera, we want to interview them because we want you guys to see that we're transparent, that these are real people. They're not stupid people. They're not gullible. They're not naive. They're making a choice because it makes their life. It's a convenience.
Well, it's opportunity. I mean, if you're spending all of your time working 8 hours, and let's face it, it's never just 8 hours, it's 8 hours at the job. Even if you are doing public school, even if you have that break in the middle for 2 hours, you're still focused 40 hours or more a week on your job.
Right.
And if you're trying to get other things off the ground,
Right.
your own business or whatever, you're splitting that time.
Agreed.
And there's only so many hours in a day.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna miss, what we were making in China.
Sure.
I mean, it's the best paying when it comes to that.
Oh, no
but
doubt.
those opportunities are getting far and few between.
Oh, definitely.
Because of,
The world.
the world and just changes.
Yeah.
And we were almost in a situation where we would have had to pay $9,000 to fly back to the United States.
Right.
And we kind of had a little bit of time to figure some things out. I couldn't imagine someone teaching there and it changed like that.
Right.
Over the holiday, and they're like, well, we don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of countries that have their doors open right now.
Right.
I mean, Vietnam, how difficult is it? On a scale from 1 to 10, I mean, it used to be real easy.
It's hard, man. It's complicated and it's constantly changing. So come check out Albania. We'll get you on your feet. We'll set you up. We'll introduce you to people. We'll make sure that when you land here, you got a guy who can find you anything you want to find. We can get you want immigration services, you want apartments, you want drivers, you want people who can take you to tourist sites. We just take care of everything. Brush your teeth. What do you think of when you think of Albania? I think of opportunity. I think of a country that's open. I think of a country that wants long stay expats, that wants people to come and invest, wants new ideas, and is looking towards the West. I think that Albania is a beautiful country with incredible landscapes that can offer a very comfortable lifestyle at a very reasonable price. We at the White Monkey Syndicate will help navigate your journey to becoming an expat in Albania. We're working with some of the top lawyers in the city. We can help establish businesses. We can help you get your residency. We can help you get real estate. We can arrange almost any contact that you might need for the process of moving here in almost any city in the country. We will simplify the process. We'll make it a lot easier for you to move to a country that maybe in the past would have been more of a challenge. With our help, it's going to be a walk in the park.
Brush your face and wash your teeth, son.
Yo, my man got me a job. Come to Vietnam.
The White Monkey got me a job during the pandemic.
The White Monkey got me into Vietnam during COVID.
The White Monkey got me into Vietnam during the pandemic. I'm at school now on break. If he did it for me, he can do it for you. It's pretty easy. Check him out.
Ooh, to whom it may concern, White Monkey Syndicate got me the job of all jobs. Thank you.
White Monkey got me a job. Brush your teeth.
The White Monkey Syndicate got me a job, aka your father.
White Monkey got me a job.
White Santa, baby, brush your teeth.
Monkey got me a job, hit him up.
Yo, it's the Whoopi Goldberg of the East L game, educating the youngins in the Englishes.
Monkey got me a motherfucking job.
White Jesus, baby.
White Monkey got me a job.
Brush your teeth.
Hey, what's up, guys? You thinking about coming to Vietnam? You're not sure where to start? You've heard a lot of things online. You don't know what's true. You don't know what's not. We here at the White Monkey Syndicate offer a consulting service where we help you get on your feet in Vietnam. We give you advice on negotiating contracts with employers. We help you with real estate agents, visa agents that are reliable and that you can trust. We help you get started in this amazing country and get on your feet. We help you get into different opportunities that might be more difficult for you if you were just landing in the country on your own. And we help you avoid a lot of the pitfalls and problems that you could have as a newcomer here. We provide you with reliable job recruiters, visa agents, real estate agents, and advice. If you guys are thinking about coming to Vietnam, hit us up for a consultation. We'll help you get started, help you get on your feet, and hopefully you'll love Vietnam as much as we do.